It is a thin slated pitcher for tonight in MLB DFS, where basically we have two guys at the top and then a massive, massive drop off after that, at least in my eyes. We're going to break things down today, let you know what I think of Zach Wheeler and Walker Buehler, talk about the rest, try to find some potential gems. We'll see how things break for today. This is the FanDuel Live Q&A right here on the FanDuel YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter channels. My name is Jim Sonis. I am a senior writer and analyst for numberfire.com, here to take your questions live on air for the next half an hour. So no matter where you are watching, get those questions in YouTube chat, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter as well. Submit those questions. We'll take them live here on air. We can talk about the pitchers for today. We can talk stacks, one-offs, general MLB DFS process, whatever is on your mind. We'll take it right here on the air for today. First question comes from Thomas over on Facebook. What's the lock for SB? I'm assuming this is the Super Bowl. Give me... So I think my projections actually have the Bucks and Chiefs again. That's pretty boring. So if we're going to have some fun, let's go Cowboys for funsies, and let's go... I can't pick against Mahomes. Let's go Cowboys Chiefs. Why not? Michael on YouTube is wondering where the Brandon Gadula colored sheet is. It is hopefully being hurtled off through space, never to be seen again, because how dare he rob you, Michael, of these glorious, glorious pictures, these glorious, glorious colors. Like, what would you do, Michael, if you tuned in and didn't see the blinding green light on Zach Wheeler's name? You'd be upset. You'd be irate. Be distraught. I get it. I would be too. So Brandon's sheet will never see the light of day, ever. So just rest assured of that. At some point, Michael, I'll probably give in and switch to it because I'm pretty non-combative, or try to be at least. So I'll eventually give in, but not yet. Can't let Brandon win just yet. Got to make him squirm for a bit first. Let's talk to Kyle on YouTube. Do you like a White Sox and Phillies combo stack for tonight? I love the White Sox. They are my number one stack for today. Facing Chris Bubich, a guy who lets up a ton of balls in play, does not get enough ground balls to cancel those out. The White Sox, tremendous versus lefties, and they're pretty much full health. Luis Robert, not quite back yet, but should be back pretty soon. So I think that the White Sox, awesome stack for today. Love them. Phillies are facing Patrick Corbin. I think that's like an okay spot. Probably not one I will get to personally. Corbin does have a very low strikeout rate. This is over his past 6 starts with increased velocity. Even with the increased velo, still just a 17% strikeout rate. He's not letting up bad batted ball data. So I do think that it's not enough where I necessarily want to stack against him. So yes to the White Sox. I'm not super in on the Phillies for today. Let's go over to YouTube. Do you like Austin Hayes for tonight? Hayes is facing off against Jordan Holloway. I am in general good with the Orioles. Hayes batting second there. I think that works. Personally, I think the Orioles are in play for stacking. I prefer Mullins. I think Mullins is amazing. He is super undersalaried, always $3,100. So to me, I would say get Mullins first if you can. I know Hayes, I think like $2,500. So it's a pretty massive gap. So if you can't get to Mullins, I get it. Hayes, $2,500. Let's check out the numbers versus righties this year. I'm pretty sure it's like a 170-ish ISO for Austin Hayes. If so, that's totally fine. I can accept that and feel good about him. And loading. Hayes against righties, 180 ISO. So yeah, I think that Austin Hayes works if you want to save some salary and go that way. Let's talk to Jackie over on Twitch. Winker came up clutch for the Dinger Tuesday and 5 extra home runs in the game. Get the max $25 bonus. We hit on Mitch Garver yesterday too. And then the Twins had like a grand slam today from Ryan Jeffers. I said Twins catchers yesterday, and 2 of them hit home runs because Williams Astudillo did 2. And then Ryan Jeffers came through today. And the other home run call was George Springer, who was facing Garrett Richards. And that game didn't play last night, but he just hit a home run a couple minutes ago. So we'll take that for sure. I'm glad it worked out for you, Jackie. Let's talk to DJ. McGill or Heaney? So this is looking for a value play here between Tyler McGill and Andrew Heaney. I would say, DJ, those are the 2 I'm considering. Both those guys are what I would deem to be considerations. I give a slight edge to McGill because he just has fewer dinger problems. I would say, though, you can make a strong case for Heaney because Heaney is facing the Rockies, better versus lefties, but still not a great offense. And he can get some strikeouts. He goes deeper in games at 102 last time out, 107 and a 107 in his ledger as well. So length is better for Heaney. Matchup overall probably a bit better, but McGill is a higher strikeout matchup against the Braves, a 25% strikeout rate versus righties. He's at home, 27% strikeout rate for him as well. He hasn't been short, I would say, from a length perspective, but also not long. So to me, it's McGill by a hair over Heaney, but DJ, if you have a strong lead towards Heaney, I think that's fine, and I would not push back. I think they're in the same tier for me. So both those guys in play, if I had to pick one, I would go with McGill personally. Michael on YouTube is asking if we have a minimum salary guy for today. Right now he has Ortega. I want to see if the Marlins lineup is out yet. I'm guessing not because of the Starling Marte trade. It is not, but there are two guys here who I think could work. I don't know if they're actually minimum salary. I'm pretty sure they're very close, though. Those guys are Lewin Diaz and Isan Diaz. Lewin Diaz is min salary. That's good. And Isan Diaz is $2,200. So both those guys are considerations for me because Diaz isn't going to have a big sample, or Lewin, I should say, because they're both Diaz. Lewin Diaz, not a big sample, but 3 home runs and like 20-something plate appearances in the big leagues, had a lot of homers in AAA as well. So Lewin Diaz, a powerful batter, I would guess would bat probably 4th or 5th tonight. So he is the number one punt play for today. Isan Diaz against righties, 118 ISO, but a 38% fly ball rate, good amount of hard contact. I think that he's interesting. So $2,200, if you can get there, I would work that too. But Lewin above Isan for me among the minimum salary guys for today. Let's talk to Jerry over on Facebook. Rate these stacks. Baltimore, thumbs up. Philadelphia, Atlanta, no. Who are they facing? They're facing McGill. Don't want to go there. Milwaukee, yes. They're facing a bullpen game for the Pirates. I think that they are a top 3 stack for me today. I think it's a bullpen game. I don't know if they've confirmed who will start. Max Kranick. Okay, so let's look at Kranick here because probably won't be super long, but might as well look him up and go through the process of what we would do here based on that as being the starter. Came up from AAA, and he was a starter in AAA. Not great results. A lot of fly balls. Hasn't been the best in the majors either. So I do think that the Brewers grade out really well. They're a top 3 stack for me. So thumbs up to that one too, Jerry. And I love Los Angeles. We'll see what winds up happening with Jared Walsh. Because if Walsh can't play, I would downgrade Los Angeles. But I think the White Sox, or sorry, the ones you mentioned, I love Milwaukee, love Atlanta, very good with Baltimore, and then not super into Philadelphia and very not in on Atlanta for today. Jerry also says he kind of likes Jimenez and k.bryant tonight with a stack of Baltimore and Milwaukee. Eloy Jimenez hit a massive home run last night, which is good to see because his rehab assignment in AAA wasn't all that impressive. Didn't have a ton of power down there. Came up his first game, didn't do a whole lot there either. So the home run was reassuring. I like Jimenez for sure. And then k.bryant is facing Tyler Mahle. I probably won't get there. Mally's had some rough games, but I, in general, believe in the talent. So probably no Bryant for me, but I do like Jimenez a lot as being someone you could turn to for a dinger call. I would say as well, other guys in the White Sox could be good for dingers. So Andrew Vaughn is one I like a lot. And then Jimenez, Adam Engel, if he plays, would be in there too. See if the White Sox lineup is out. It is. Okay, so Adam Engel batting second. Let's party. Andrew Vaughn batting 6th, and then is batting 4th. This is awesome. Okay, so thumbs up on the White Sox lineup for today. And again, thumbs up on Milwaukee as well for you, Jerry. Let's talk to Jackie. Would you avoid hitters in the Dodgers-Giants matchup? I would, not just because it's Walker Buehler versus Anthony DeSclafani, but also it is a wretched park for offense. 61 degrees of temperature, the only game with a temperature under 70 degrees, the worst park factor in the league in general. So they're very good offenses. That means they can make stuff happen regardless of the matchup. They can make stuff happen regardless of the weather situation. But if I'm just like betting on, who I think will do well tonight, it's not going to be the Giants, not going to be the Dodgers, because I have a lot of respect for these two pitchers. As far as the pitching goes, we have not discussed this as of yet, but I do think that Zach Wheeler is the number one guy for today. Facing the Nationals, no Trey Turner because he is on the COVID IL now. That does boost up the matchup for Wheeler a little bit. Wheeler, in his past 10 starts with fewer four-seam fastballs, has a 2.94 skill interactive ERA, 31% strikeout rate, tremendous batted ball data. So I think that he has to be number one. Bueller's 2 for me, and then we get down to the value plays like McGill and Heaney, as we were talking about before with DJ. I think that for me, if we're building stacks, so let's put Zach Wheeler in there as a placeholder at pitcher. Let's talk to Kyle on YouTube. Do you have any? Do you think Brendan Rodgers is a decent one-off for tonight? Pretty sure he's in a tough spot. Yeah, facing Heaney, which does mean that Heaney can let up some home runs. So I can't say outright no. I will say though that you'll probably find guys in better situations for one-offs from a hitting perspective. So if we're talking just one-offs, I'd say the Marlins work because we're looking at Jesus Aguilar, Adam Duvall, assuming they're not traded before that game goes underway. I think Diaz is a good one-off as well. Lewin, that is. So the Marlins are great for one-offs. I would say that the Orioles are great for one-offs with Mullins specifically. Let's see what Rogers' salary is. I'm assuming you're looking for middle infielder, $2,400. Let's try to find you a middle infielder. I wouldn't say Rogers is out of play just because Heaney does let up a lot of hard contact. Rogers, I think, had a home run last night. Let's look at $2,400 and lower in the middle infield. Not super enthused with most of these options. Ramon Urias could be an option versus Holloway tonight. I'm okay targeting bats versus Holloway. Urias, I believe, had pretty good numbers down in AAA before he got promoted. In the big leagues, 139 ISO, not the best number, but also not the worst. So I'd say if you're looking for a lower salaried middle infielder, Ramon Urias could be a guy who would grade out pretty well there. I think Isan Diaz, assuming he plays, $2,200, he could work as well. So I'd turn to those guys over Rogers just because I like those teams in general more for tonight. Let's talk to Clint. Giolito versus Kansas City, and should I roster Gallo tonight? So Giolito is in rough form right now. Strikeouts have been down quite a bit. That's on the whole. Over his past 6 starts with fewer changeups. And the reason I care about changes for Giolito is because it's a really good pitch. And for whatever reason, he's not really... I don't know. He's not using as much recently. I don't know why that's the case, but he hasn't been, and that's a concern because it's a really good pitch for him. So I think that we should downgrade him there. I will say that in this stretch, in this 6-start sample where the strikeout rate's 22%, he did have a shutout against the Astros, or maybe it was a one-run game. Either way, I think it was 9 innings, 8 strikeouts against the Astros. So he is still capable of big games. That's why, Clint, I can't say no. I will say, though, I'd rather have Wheeler and Bueller than him, and I'm okay forking over the additional salary to get there. So that's where I'm at for tonight. I would rather try to find ways to get there. I'm not going to say no, Clint, if you have a strong inclination towards Giolito, but the rough current form is why I'm okay being a bit lower on him for tonight. Let's talk to Jerry. Could you explain how the bonus worked out for last night? I had 6 guys go the yard and didn't see the bonus. They were giving out the $5,400 I won. Sorry for the question being out of the way. No, it's totally okay. You can always ask. I think the way it worked was for every home run that was hit, they gave out $500 to a random person. I'm not totally sure about that. I was trying to follow it based on Twitter last night, so it seemed like it was $500 to a random person for every home run. I think that's probably why, given that there were a lot of people in the contest. So I'm not more clear on that. I don't get explanations on them, unfortunately, but maybe, hopefully next time, we'll see. But either way, hit some more dingers tonight, Jerry. If you had 6 home runs, that's pretty sweet. So at least your process was good. And if you weren't one of the random people to win the $500. Okay, Michael's asking for Cal's home run call. Cal is out this week. So Joy is going to give her home run call instead. And we were talking before the show. I was trying to convince Joy to be a White Sox fan. The thought process was, the Dodgers are too far west. I can't stay up for the games because I'm old. So I wanted to pitch her on a team that's not West Coast and wanted a fun team. I'm not a big fan of any East Coast teams. So I settled on the White Sox. So that means we're going to put Joy on Jose Abreu tonight or Tim Anderson. Let's go Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson is the home run call for Joy for tonight. For her White Sox, she might not pick them, but for today, at least, we'll say for her White Sox, Tim Anderson going yard. I think he's actually the thumbnail on the YouTube thing for today, too. So we're getting Tim Anderson love via Joy for the home run call for today. DJ is asking, would you stack anyone for Arizona tonight as a salary saver? I do think that they're in play, given that the matchup is not that bad. They are facing Jordan Lyles, who is very prone to home runs. So I don't think it's the worst idea to consider Arizona guys for tonight. Cole Calhoun, let's check out what he's done since coming back, because I know that injury kept him out for a pretty long time. So I want to make sure he's playing well since he came back. Let's sort here by plate appearances. Calhoun's sample will be pretty small, but we can do this either way. 78 plate appearances, 108 ISO, but I'm pretty sure he had a barrel to start off last night's games. Let's look closer at Cole Calhoun's numbers recently. I just to broadly answer your question, DJ, yes, I think that we can look at Arizona for salary savers for tonight, probably more so for one-offs than a full stack because they are hashtag bad. But Calhoun, 2 barrels last night, 3 hard hit balls. Okay, so Cole Calhoun on the menu for the Diamondbacks for tonight. Totally okay with that. Josh Van Meter tends to be someone I am okay with against righties. 126 ISO this year. That's a bit disappointing. More strikeouts than you'd like. So, you could go there, but I'm not going to feel great about it. Eduardo Escobar, Christian Walker, Ruben Cabrera, and David Peralta. Dalton Varsho batting 8th. Disappointing, because I love Dalton Varsho. Would love to have him higher in the order. But Eduardo Escobar, 222 ISO. There have been a lot of trade rumors about him. So if you want to use Eduardo, make sure you can check back on that later on, because he might get dealt at some point. So if you want to use Eduardo Escobar, check back later on, because that could be pretty dicey. So I like him and I would use him, but just make sure you're available to make some late swaps. The good thing is that's an 8:05 game as opposed to a later game. So if you go Eduardo Escobar, I think he's third base, $3,100, you can just switch to Yoan Moncada, I'd assume. Yeah. So you should be good to go to keep Escobar in there. And if he gets traded, just swap in for Yoan Moncada, but keep your eyes open if you want to use Eduardo Escobar. So Calhoun works, Escobar works, and those are probably the main guys for me within the Diamondbacks team for today. Van Meter, potentially, if you want to save some salary, but the overall numbers this year, disappointing for him thus far. Alvin, any changes to the pitcher or stack rankings? I would probably bump up Milwaukee a bit. Let's say this, Alvin. Let's say there's no Angels lineup as of yet. If we get confirmation that Walsh does not play, I'd move the White Sox up to 1, I'd move the Brewers up to 2, and then the Angels down to 3. That's the one thing I'm keeping an eye on for right now. And the reasoning is Jared Walsh is good. Also, it just gives us one fewer guy we want to use on the Angels. So as of right now, if we assume that Walsh plays, I'll keep status quo. If he doesn't play, move the Angels down to 3, White Sox up to 1, Brewers up to 2, because I think that matchup should grade out pretty well for them for today. Lineup's not bad. I love Tyrone Taylor batting 6th. Just a powerful dude. Omar Narvaez went deep last night. He's pretty solid as well. Adames. Urias batting 8th. That's kind of a bummer because I do like him quite a bit, but I still think these 2 through 6 batters all really fun for the Brewers for today. So yeah, the Brewers moving up for me, Jerry, for Alvin, from where they were last night. Jerry is asking for a home run call, or giving us home run calls. Bryce Harper and Ozzie Albies. You can never go wrong with either of those guys. They are both tremendous. The matchup pretty tough for Albies against McGill, but it sounds like Jerry is in on that one for tonight. And then Harper facing Zach Wheeler. I don't want that one at all. Harper facing, I was thinking about his old team, Harper facing Corbin. So it's the Jerry special with the lefty on lefty with Bryce Harper versus Patrick Corbin. Lefties, no issue for Bryce Harper. So if you're going to pull a Jerry and go lefty on lefty, you could do a lot worse than going Bryce Harper. So Jerry, I think that the Harper one's definitely fun. I won't be on Albies. I think that my home run calls for today, I believe they were Shohei Ohtani, which is very boring and kind of cheating, but also it's like my show. So like I can cheat if I want, I think. So I'm going to have Shohei Ohtani for the first home run call, and I'll stick with Andrew Vaughn. Batting 6th, lower than I hoped. I think Adam Engel's interesting too. So check out the sportsbook odds on Adam Engel. Maybe you could get that. You could probably get him pretty long. So check out Adam Engel. Check out Andrew Vaughn as being guys for tonight. Let's talk to Savon over on YouTube. Do you mind giving us a mock-up example if you were to place a single entry? So I don't like giving up full lineups because that's kind of not the point of the stream. The point of the stream is to talk through some process. So let's talk about process here, Savon. I think it's a good night for some single entry. Love me some single entry. For me, it'd be Zach Wheeler at pitcher. I think that the gap between him and everyone else is massive. So I want to be reactive to that and use Wheeler as my pitcher for today. So single entry, give me Wheeler. For single entry stacks, I probably would turn towards the Brewers and the White Sox there, because if I've got Wheeler in there and I go with the Brewers, who just have a bunch of value plays, I can probably get to all the White Sox I want to get to. We can go Anderson, we can go Abreu, and let's go with Vaughn. And I'm probably going to put Eloy Jimenez in there over Moncada. I guess Engel. Let's go Engel. Why not? Let's do it. And then I'd probably fill in with the Brewers. If we use the Brewers, we should be able to make that work pretty easily. So I would say White Sox, Brewers, Wheeler as a fun way to play things here. But I think the White Sox and Wheeler kind of locks for me for single entry for tonight. I know the White Sox be popular, Wheeler be popular, but like Wheeler, just too good for me to pass up for tonight. DJ's asking for home run calls on Tampa Bay. Facing Nestor Cortes, who does let up a lot of hard contact, but also gets a lot of strikeouts. Pitch count for him, 59, 74, 35. So it'll probably be somewhere around 70-ish for tonight. So I see Jackie likes Nelson Cruz. Can't push back on that against the lefty. I think that definitely works, given it's Nestor Cortes. I think you need to go for some lower strikeout guys. It looks like Jerry likes Randy Arozarena. Arozarena, very good versus lefties. He likes Yandy Diaz. I don't like Yandy because he doesn't hit the ball and put the ball in the air. Let's actually pull up some updated numbers here, because Yandy's been having more of a power stroke recently. By what, not like a stroke, but like what I mean by that is he is pulling the ball a bit more recently. This is anecdotal. I haven't actually checked to see if this is true, but it seems like he's been pulling the ball a bit more recently. Yandy Diaz, 095 ISO, 32% fly ball rate for him is actually not bad. Actually, let's pull this up here. See what Yandy's been doing in the month of July and see if he actually has been lofting the ball more or if my eyes are deceiving me. Let's go here. Let's go to the batted ball data and let's check out the month of July for Yandy. 37% fly ball rate. Okay. Yandy's getting a little bit higher, getting a little bit aloft from that stick. That's new. So a 37% fly ball rate this month. He's pulling it 30% of the time. That's actually down. So I lied about pulling the ball more, but increased fly ball rate. Maybe we got something there. So maybe Jerry is just hip to the batted ball data on Yandy Diaz. We're going to see a power binge here coming up. That's possible. So I don't think it's the worst call. 3 of his 6 home runs have come in July. One of them was a couple nights ago. Maybe Jerry's on something here. Okay, I might have written off Yandy Diaz too soon. DJ is asking about Wander Franco. Let's check out Franco's numbers versus lefties. Still pretty small sample for him versus lefties. 47 plate appearances. Ooh. 317 ISO. My goodness. That's fun. So basically, it's a situation where you have to kind of assume that that Cortes doesn't fare all that well in this situation. And I think that's something you could potentially talk yourself into. Let's check out the overall numbers for Cortes this year. Again, he's not going to be in there for the full game. The Yankees pen tends to be pretty solid despite Chapman's decline recently. So 60 pitches is what they say. Okay, 60 pitches for Cortes for today. He's been really solid. I think you could talk yourself into it. I'm not actually seeking out the Rays, but I think that they are not totally off the table. Jerry likes a Aaron Judge home run call. Judge fresh off the COVID IL. This is Michael Wacha since his pitch count got back up. He has a 4.04 skill interactive ERA, lowish strikeout rate of 23%, low walk rate, which is good for us. Not the best batted ball data, so yeah, I don't think that's too bad at all. Jerry's asking for my favorite value for tonight. For pitcher, I don't have one. Like I would say if I had to pick one, I'd say either McGill or Heaney. If we're talking about a hitter, I would say Engel's pretty fun. Now that I know he's batting second, let's pull up the numbers here on Engel versus lefties. Still probably a pretty small sample on him too, but the overall numbers for Engel, I would say, are surprising for him for this year. Engel just 28 plate appearances, so not a big enough sample to put any stock into. But like the overall numbers in Engel have been good. Been impressed with the power he's shown so far. So I can get behind that. The one thing I would be worried about with Engel is that he might leave games now with Jimenez being back, just because they could put Brian Goodwin in the outfield. So let's go here. Check out the game log because they faced a lefty a couple nights ago. So this would have been the 26th. Had 4 plate appearances, which is good. Let's check out the box score. and just make sure he played the full game. Engel was hitting 6th there. Yeah, so he played the full game, so that's good. So I feel good about Engel. I think that he's a pretty solid value play for today. He's $2,700. I do like that quite a bit. So Engel's probably going to be my favorite value for today. I think the Brewers are up there. Tyrone Taylor, someone I always like. Honestly, like all the Brewers are pretty low salaried, so no real concerns there. Adames has been tremendous recently. So I'd say Willy Adames, Adam Engel, Andrew Vaughn, those are the main guys I would turn to as being good values for today. Jerry likes Heaney. Yeah, I think that the strikeouts are good. I can definitely get behind him. Just concerned about the home runs. If Story doesn't play due to trade stuff, the lineup's not out yet. If Story doesn't play, then bump up Heaney a little bit more then. But he's in play for sure. And then asking about Max. Not sure which Max that's referring to. So we'll talk the next question for Jerry. Rate the Brewers. Okay, so let's go to the Brewers lineup here. Got, not going to go long, but Adames, Narvaez, Garcia, Rowdy Tellez. Oh, Max Fried. Okay, Max Fried. I considered him a little bit. 24% strikeout rate in his past 7 starts with different movement on his curveball. Not a terrible matchup. I think that Fried's an option. I'm not going to get there, but I wouldn't say he's out of play. He's below McGill and Heaney for me, but he's the next tier below that. So not opposed to Fried, but not going to use him myself. Okay, rate the Brewers. Let's go here. Pull up the numbers versus righties this year. And see who we should... Oopsies. Wrong team. They're playing right now in a very strange game against the Tigers. Everyone's hitting dingers because why not? Okay, Arias is batting 8th. That's a bummer. Adames batting 2nd, 207 ISO. Love that. Avisail Garcia, 191 ISO. Love that. Narvaez, 168. Into it. Actually, Colton Wong's ISO is higher than I thought it was, at 169. Interesting. He also can steal bags. Also interesting. Tellez, 177 ISO. So I'm going to go Adames 1. So let's clear out the White Sox here. Adames and Tim Anderson do overlap, which is kind of annoying, but I can just put one in the utility slot in that scenario. Where are the Brewers? There they are. Okay. So let's go with Adames first. I want Avisail Garcia second for the power. If you want a value play, I would go Tyrone Taylor, but I'm probably not going to need that much salary savings for today. Narvaez, Wong, Tellez. I honestly don't know how I want to rank those guys. They're all very similar. The good thing with Wong is that he can steal bags. Maybe I should just feel good about it. Let's see what Colton Wong has done since he came back. It's an expanding sample on Colton Wong. Because he's had streaks in the past where he's been decently high upside. So, okay. We've got since the 16th. So since the All-Star break. 088 ISO. Looks like it's just that one home run for him in that time. But what's the batted ball data look like? It is... Oopsies, I included one wrong game. Let's undo that. There we go. Hard hit rate is 22%. Yeah, I'm okay glossing over Wong. So let's go with Narvaez. And I don't want to lock up catcher / first base so I can get Jose Abreu in there for my White Sox stacks and Walsh if he's in there. For the Angel stacks, let's go Tyrone Taylor. I would say this is probably my favorite Brewer stack for today. If you don't want to lock up first base, you can go Wong, or you could go some other spots too, or could go Tellez if you're okay locking up first base. So I think that that's where Jerry likes pretty much the same stack. He has Tellez in there instead of Narvaez. I think that's fine too. I think that Tellez is right there as well. So on the same page, I think you've got 5 legit options, 5 or 6 if you include Wong. Kane hasn't had the most power this year, so at least against righties. So I think that the top 6 guys in the order all in play. This is probably the optimal 4 I'd go with, but if you need the flexibility and want to go Wong, that's also okay for me. That is all that we have here for today on the FanDuel Live Q&A. But as always, we are back once again tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, breaking down your questions on tomorrow night's MLB DFS slate. Make sure you are subscribed to the FanDuel YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, or Twitter page to get notifications as we go live each and every day. If you have additional questions for me, I am on Twitter at JimSannes, JimSannes. Big thank you to Joy Affleck, our video producer, for running the video side of things here today. Thank you, Joy, White Sox fan forever, as always. And thank you to everyone for tuning in. Good luck to you tonight. We'll talk to you once again tomorrow. This has been the FanDuel Live Q&A.